The morning my husband finally treated me like a queen, I handed his love to another woman. 1 hour later, her scream tore through the office hallways. And in that moment, I understood something terrifying. The breakfast wasn't meant to save me. It was meant to silence me forever. I was 12 weeks pregnant and violently sick every single morning. Not the cute, glowing pregnancy kind people post online. Not the kind where nausea fades after a sip of tea. This was the kind where your knees shake, where your throat burns, where the bathroom floor feels safer than your own bed. For weeks, my world shrank to porcelain tiles and shallow breaths. And through all of it, my husband barely noticed. He left before sunrise. Came home after midnight. Phone glued to his ear, suit smelling faintly of someone else's perfume. A rushed kiss on my forehead. A distracted, get some rest. And always the same line. I'll be late. Late became normal. Silence became routine. Loneliness became part of the pregnancy. So when I woke up that morning to unfamiliar sounds, I froze. Pans clinking. Oil sizzling. The low hum of the kitchen exhaust fan. I thought I was dreaming. Then the smell hit me. Butter. Toast. Ginger. He walked into the bedroom carrying a tray like a man from a commercial. Scrambled eggs. Toast cut into perfect triangles. A cup of steaming ginger tea. He smiled. A real smile. The kind I hadn't seen since before I got pregnant, before something between us quietly died. Morning, babe, he said gently. I did some research. Ginger helps with nausea. My throat tightened. Not from sickness. From confusion. You made this? I asked. He nodded, brushing my fingers away from my face, touching my hair instead. You're carrying my child. I need to do better. Need to, not want to. That word landed wrong, but hope is louder than logic when you're pregnant. I smiled anyway, because when you're vulnerable, you cling to kindness like oxygen. Then he said something strange. Make sure you eat all of it, he added casually. Every bite. His eyes stayed on me too long. The words felt heavy. Pressed. Practiced. My stomach twisted, but this time it wasn't pregnancy. I still feel sick, I said. Maybe I'll eat it later. For half a second, his jaw tightened. So fast most people wouldn't notice. But I did. Don't waste it, he said quickly. It's important. Important. That word again. After he left, the apartment felt too quiet. Too still. I sat at the kitchen table staring at the tray. The eggs looked normal. Perfect even. Too perfect. A voice inside me whispered, don't eat it. I tried to silence it. Yuri hormonal. Yuri paranoid. Yuri imagining things. But paranoia is just intuition screaming to be heard. I packed the breakfast into a container and left the apartment. I didn't know exactly where I was going. I just knew I couldn't swallow a single bite. I drove straight to his office. When I walked in, his secretary was already at her desk. Lila. Perfect hair pulled back tight. Sharp eyeliner. Posture straight as glass. She looked up and smiled, but it never reached her eyes. Can I help you? She asked politely. I brought breakfast, I said lightly. My husband made too much. Her eyes flicked to the container. Just for a second. Oh, she said. That's sweet. I watched her carefully. Would you like it? I asked. I can't keep anything down these days. She hesitated. Just a breath. Just long enough to matter. Then she smiled. I guess I could try. I handed it to her. Our fingers brushed. Her skin was cold. Hope it helps, I said. She nodded and walked back into her glass-walled office. I sat down in the waiting area. I don't know why. Something inside me said, don't leave. The office was quiet. Keyboards clicking. Phones ringing softly in the distance. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. I heard her chair scrape back. Then a sound I will never forget. A scream. Not startled. Not surprised. Pure terror. People rushed toward her office. I stood frozen as she stumbled out, clutching her stomach. Her face had gone white. Her blouse was soaked with sweat. It burns, she screamed. My throat, my stomach, call an ambulance. Someone shouted for help. Someone grabbed water. Someone else tried to hold her upright. I stepped back, because in that moment, I knew. At the hospital, everything unraveled quickly. Doctors spoke in hushed voices. Words like toxicity and ingestion floated through the air. Finally, one of them turned to me. "It was poisoning," he said. "A concentrated chemical, commonly used for pest control." My heart dropped. "In small doses," he continued, "it can cause infertility. In larger doses, it can be fatal." My husband arrived minutes later, breathless, wide-eyed, pretending to be shocked. "What happened?" he asked, his gaze jumping between me and the doctors. I looked straight at him. "She ate the breakfast you made," I said calmly. The color drained from his face. Lila stabilized. And then she broke. Between sobs and pain, she told the truth. They'd been having an affair for over a year. She was pregnant too. But he didn't want either baby. So he planned it. The breakfast was meant for me. Just enough poison to cause a tragic miscarriage. Enough to make sure I'd never conceive again. And once I was broken, he planned to leave. He told her the breakfast was a surprise for me. Warned her never to touch it. But she did. Because deep down, she wanted what was mine. My husband was arrested that night. Attempted murder. Poisoning. Conspiracy. He never looked at me again. Not in the courtroom. Not when they led him away in handcuffs. Lila survived. She lost the baby. I didn't. Months later, I held my daughter in my arms. Alive. Healthy. Safe. Sometimes I think about that morning. About how close I came to trusting a smile that was actually a weapon. About how love can wear the face of care while hiding murder in a cup of tea. People ask me how I knew something was wrong. How I felt it. I tell them this. When someone suddenly becomes kind for no reason, listen carefully. Because sometimes breakfast isn't love. It's an alibi. He cooked me breakfast to kill my baby. I gave it to his mistress instead.